Eagles fans, this is an exciting Week 16. The Philadelphia Eagles clinched the playoffs last week, and we have an opportunity at home field advantage. But first, we have some NFC East business to take care of down the stretch, starting tomorrow at 1 p.m. on the road with the Washington Commanders. Let's talk about it.
Fasten your seatbelts for the realest Eagles and YouTuber! One who plays no clickbait and gets to the point! The myth, the legend, Nicky Steves! Come to my channel, you know the deal, yo boy, always keeps things real. I'm simply statue things and slate, dropping unrealistic man, 2K takes for the clip. Even though cats like that get views closer to the millie, never hear me preach, look on to Philly. Before you watch the Eagles all the way through the early 22, authentic talk, forget what others do. Come to my channel, you know the deal, yo boy, always keeps things real. The 24/7, 365 way, sports content for the reals that fill the day.
Good afternoon, folks. I hope your weekend's off to a great start. It's 12:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and your boy Nicky Steves is here, ready to talk about the Eagles versus Commanders Week 16 matchup, the rematch from our 26-18 victory in Week 12. And we gonna talk about. So we coming into this with a win already on our backs against this team. We've seen the blueprint on how to beat them. However, we still have to remember something. Well, we have beaten them before. Each game's its own game. Just because we did it once, don't mean it's going to happen again. And we coming into this game in the time since, we fresh off 3 straight wins. We beat the Ravens on the road. We beat the Panthers at home in a game that was closer than expected, but it was just one game. Then, last but not least, we fresh off a victory over the Steelers at home, clinching a playoff berth and securing ourselves the victory. Secure ourselves opportunity at home field advantage, thus improving the win streak to 10. Now, the Commanders, on the other hand, in the time period since then, they've been 2-1. They lost to the Cowboys afterward in a game that was an upset, which had us questioning them. Then they came back, took out their frustrations from the Tennessee Titans after that 3-game win streak. Then they came back last week, defeated the Saints. But even in that game, the Saints, it was a nail-biter. They had to rely on a failed 2-point conversion on a pass at the goal line on the last play of the game to squeak out a 20-19 victory. So the Commanders, they're not coming into this matchup with the same momentum they had last time. They look a little more vulnerable. However, with that being said, though, they're still 9-5. And this is their first 9-win season since 2015. So we got to bear in mind that, and we got to keep in mind, remember, this is on the road. They're the home team. So they got the home field advantage in this matchup. Now, I'm not said doubting the Eagles at all, but I'm just saying we got to remember this is a different matchup than last time. Now, we're going to take a look at what happened last time real quickly and see what happened. So we can take a look, kind of get an idea of the blueprint of what happened and how we can beat the Washington Commanders again. So we still waiting on more people to come on in the chat. But hey, for anyone just coming in, as always, do us a favor. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe to both the Hardcore Sports Network and Nikki Steve's channel, as we're doing this stream on both platforms. So with that being said, yeah, we're going to do is we're going to take a look back at the weeks at the at that matchup, week 12, and show you guys what the differences were in that game and how we had a factor. You have to remember, let's see, obviously the one big factor was the run game. So that right there, that's the link to this on my channel, and then the link on the Hardcore Sports Network. If you can drop a like on both platforms. But now let's take a look. So last time we played him, you had Jalen Hurts, 18 for 28. Jalen Hurts was 18 for 28, 221 yards. Saquon had the monster game with 26 carries, 146 yards, and 2 TDs in that one. And then Jaden Daniels, he had a pick, and we also got a fumble. So we managed to record 2 turnovers as well. See, we outscored them on first down. They were only 3 for 12 on third down. They had 1 interception. Wasn't there a fumble somewhere in that game yet? But I think there was. But we did get an interception at some point. And then, we didn't have any turnovers. And we were 70 to 63 on total play. But we outshined them. We outshined them in total yards. We certainly outshined them in the run game. They only had 93 yards. And going into that matchup, they were one of the better run teams. Little G Griffith here, stopping by. He's got his score prediction. Eagles 27 to 14 over the Commanders. Thanks for stopping by. And I hope you're off to a great start for your Saturday and you're enjoying your weekend. And that's the thing, folks. Yep. And keep in mind, while we're still on the subject of Saturday, we do have Saturday football on. We have the Kansas City Chiefs defending Super Bowl champions against the Houston Texans. Then later we got the Steelers and Ravens rematch. So we have some football for you guys today. But speaking of football, back to this game. We outshined them in the run game greatly. And that was a huge difference last time. So we got to be able to do that again. Now, Saquon, we got to remember going into this matchup, to be fair, Saquon Barkley, remember, he did take a big hit against the Steelers, and he didn't play the whole game. He took a big hit. He came out of the game for a little bit. Kenneth Gainwell got some playing time, but Saquon did return. So we got to remember, Saquon might not be at 100% from that big hit he took last week against the Steelers. It's still depth chart has him as listed to play, so we're still going to see him. I'm just saying there is a possibility he might not be at 100%. I'm not saying that's going to be the case. So we just have to keep that in mind. But as I was saying, last time it was the Saquon Barkley show. That's where he dominated. And that's really where the game where the Eagles really started to prove themselves to me as a fan that, hey, they have what it takes to hang with the big dogs when we beat the Commanders last time. But we also got to remember, though, we're going different scenario, change in scenery. We're traveling to their stadium. Commanders have something to prove. They're coming into this 9-5. They know a win over the Eagles will be big for momentum. So I'm expecting them to show up and play. I'm expecting them to come determined to knock the Eagles off, because the big thing is, as you build momentum as a team, you're coming in on a 10-game winning streak. And another team, one of the other 31 teams sees you on the schedule. They got you marked as, oh, this is the big game. We got to beat these guys. So they're coming to play and prove themselves. And they want revenge for last time. But we still have to remember, it was a close game, too. It wasn't until we took off in the fourth quarter, because we only had 6 points going into the fourth. It was 10-6 Commanders entering the fourth quarter. And then we had to, we rallied strong in the fourth quarter and won that game. And we got Chad stopping by in the chat. Steelers fan. I mean, hey, man. Hey, you got to admit it. Got to admit it was a great game. And there's Chad, let's go Penn State. He's going to be pulling for Penn State. Probably also going to be pulling for Saquon Barkley against the Commanders. But, hey. But thanks for stopping by, and thanks for your support as always, man. And let me tell you, Eagles, like I said, man, Commanders want to come in and knock this off. We're the top game on the schedule now. we have the big winning streak right now. And they want revenge for last time. But like we said, last time it was close until the fourth quarter. Then we had to round. Then we came on strong in the fourth quarter, scoring points, lighting up the scoreboard. So there's a possibility this could be a competitive matchup as well. So we got to be mindful of that too. This could be certainly a competitive matchup. And as of right now, we are the -3.5-point favorites, but we ultimately going to see what's going to happen here. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the key matchups and break down what to expect in this one. Now, for this one, because this is the first rematch of the season that I'm previewing. So we're going to go about this a little bit differently than the usual key player matchups. We're going to talk a little bit about the position battles, and we're going to talk about the key matchups that were a factor last time. Because last time, first we're going to start with the run game, the battle of the run games, the Eagles run game versus the Commanders run game, because that was a major factor last time, particularly down the stretch in the fourth quarter where the Eagles took over that game and ended up cruising to victory. You know, like we said, Saquon had himself a phenomenal day, over 100 plus yards rushing. Eagles had 200 plus yard. You know, Jalen had an excellent game on the ground and had a good game in the passing game as well, hitting AJ and Smitty. Even though he didn't throw any touchdowns, he didn't turn the ball over, and he played good enough in the run game as well. So you had the dual threat of Saquon and Hurts in the run game played a big factor in that last time. While the Commanders' run game, we didn't really have a big spark. Like nothing really got going. We got Brian Robinson got 63 yards on 16 carries. And then he got close to 4 yards per carry. And that was a huge factor in this game last time. And then, so that's, we got to factor in. So it's going to be a battle of the run games. Can the Commanders' run game get going? Can Jaden Daniels get ready to make some plays with his feet? And can Brian Robinson Jr. get going a little bit more on this one than he did the last time? That's going to be key factors in this one. And of course, the Eagles, they got to do what they did last time, repeat on the ground game. And we have a shot at sweeping the Commanders in this one. But then another key battle is going to be battle of the line, of offensive line versus defensive line on both sides of the ball. Because Jalen Hurts, the past couple games, has been dropped 7 times in the past couple games. Now, granted, last week we had to play the Steelers, one of the best blitzing teams and one of the best defenses in the NFL, and that certainly played a factor. But then the week before against the Panthers, it was a bit of a sloppy game all around. That played a factor in the outcome too. However, this time around is going to be a much different story. This time around, we got to see what can happen. I mean, the Commanders, yeah, but they not really get to the quarterback much. They usually have about average 3 or less sacks per game. So they're obviously not the same team as the Steelers. Lane Johnson isn't going against TJ Watt in this one. And look, they did get 2 sacks last time, but they're not the best at getting to the quarterback. So it's not as big a threat that they could get to us. And last time we did get 3 sacks on Jaden Daniels. And this was around the time period our defense was finding its groove. Now that it's hot, there's a possibility we could get to him a few more times, drop him, win the battle of the trenches at the line to stop the run. Because we did a solid job stopping the run last time, and, we did that, and we can do that again here. So that's going to be another key matchup right there. And if our offensive line can keep the Commanders' defense to a minimum and improve off its efforts the past couple weeks where they gave up 7 sacks, that's better for us right there. So that's a key matchup as well. Another key matchup obviously is battle of the quarterbacks. How are they going to do? Now, Jalen Hurts has the advantage where Saquon Barkley is presumed to be more reliable in this game. We don't know it for sure, but obviously on paper, Saquon Barkley should have himself another good game and should help lead the way to victory. Where, Brian Robinson Jr., we're not sure what he's going to do in this one. He may or may not have himself a good game. He's averaging 4.43 yards per carry, but last time against the Eagles, he didn't have the greatest game. But we'll have to see how it fares out, how it plays out this time around. But either way, though, Jaden Daniels is the main weapon in that Commanders offense. You still have Zach Ertz he can throw the ball to, Terry McLaurin. We can't underestimate this Commanders offense. They still have the pieces to work with in the passing game. So we're going to have to keep – so this could be – so that's a key matchup. Our secondary's got to step up. Quinyon Mitchell and company do their thing again. That's going to be key right there to shut them down. It's going to be key. Jalen Hurts, he doesn't have himself a big turnover game. Now, if he can have himself a better passing game than last time, which wasn't a bad game at all, but if it can be better than last time, that improves our odds of winning. So it's also important that we win the battle of quarterback. Now I'm going to take a look at the depth charts real quickly. See, because we're going into this matchup. Most of our main guys are healthy in this one. Like I said, you got Jalen. Like I said, Jalen Hurts, Saquon's healthy, AJ, Smitty, Jahan Dotson's healthy, Grant Calaterra, CJ Uzama. Then you got Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, Mika Becton, Lane Johnson. They're ready. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we're mostly healthy. So we should be in good hands with this one. And then for the Commanders, we'll take a look at their depth charts because they, for the most part, should be healthy. Zach Ertz, though, is questionable. So we'll see if he plays and see if he can be a factor in this matchup. But other than that, you got Daniels, Robinson, McLaurin are healthy. Zach Cases, Coleman. And the offensive line, for the most part, is healthy. The defense, Jeremy Chin at safety is questionable. But for the most part, these teams, Jonathan Allen is on IR. Neural Pollard. You got Noah Brown, he's on IR, who caught the Hail Mary against the Bears. Austin Eckler's on IR. So he'll be a non-factor in this one. He played last time. So the Commanders are at risk of being down 2 guys in this game. So it'll be interesting if, Ertz, that's iffy. But they will be down Austin Eckler, who did play a factor in that last matchup. So it'll be interesting to see right there. 1 second. We're going to talk about keys to victory in just a moment. Now we're back, folks. We're going to wrap this one up and talk about our key. We're going to close this thing out with the keys to victory. It's going to be a quicker version of keys to victory. We're going to get to it. The number one obvious key is to be able to run the ball, because we did it great last time with the dual threat of Barkley and Hurts. If we can do it again, that certainly gives us an edge. Second one, win the battle of the trenches, both on the offensive side and at the offensive and defensive line, because that plays a factor. If we can win the offensive line battles, there's less of a shot that they can get to our quarterback. And obviously, that opens holes in the run game. And then on the defensive side, if we can get to Daniels, force some pressure on him, get a few sacks, we got 3 on him last time, that limits his effectiveness in the offense. And then the next key, try to get a turnover on these guys. Because if we can get a turnover or two, like we did last time, that can play a factor in this game. The interception last time played a big factor. Considering it was a 1-score victory, got to look at that interception as a key. So if we can get another turnover in this one, it will certainly help in this one. Grega John, thanks for stopping by. Always that's another one. Another key factor is to get off to a hot start, because everyone just believes, myself included, this could be a close battle, especially with it being a division rivalry game. Commanders have something to play for, and the Eagles are the top team on everyone's schedule. If you see the Eagles on your schedule, that's the top game. Scoring this one, I'm going to go, say, 28. I'll go 28-23. Jump ahead. Yeah, and as I was saying, that's enough. So if we get off to a hot start, especially if this does end up being a close game as people expect, we get off to that hot start, score some points early, maybe get 2 field goals in the first, get a field goal or a touchdown, something in the early going. It could play a huge factor late in the game if it's a close game. Because if we start off sloppy and the Commanders are, say, up 10-0 at the end of the first, or they're up 13-3 at halftime, and then we have to rally in the second half, that could be the difference between victory and defeat. It could be. I think it's important we got to score, at least get off to something early. Get a few field goals, get a touchdown, something in the early going. And those are my keys to victory. You force turnovers, run the ball efficiently, as well as we did last time. Win the battle of the trenches on the offensive defensive line. Try to get off to a hot start. And the other key, obviously, don't commit careless turnovers. Those are my main keys to victory. This one. If you guys have your keys to victory you want to drop in the chat, feel free to do so. Okay, you got Grega has his 28-20 score prediction. So we're kind of on point. Like I said, I got, for those of you, to reiterate for you guys, I got us winning 28-23 in this one, but we'll ultimately have to see what happens. I plan on being back tomorrow night around 8 p.m. to do the, I'll come back around actually 7 p.m. to do the recap for this matchup. I'll recap our game tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talk about whatever goes down, but we'll have to ultimately see what happens, man. So with that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday, or enjoy your evening if you're watching this on the replay. To everyone that stopped by, thanks for stopping by, as always, showing your support for the Hardcore Sports Network and Nikki Stee's channels. If you haven't done so, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to both channels. There's the link to stream on my channel. Here's the link to the Hardcore Sports Network's one. So, yes, with that being said, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or night if you catch us on the replay. Thanks for stopping by and showing your support, as always. With that being said, fly, Eagles, fly. Let's make sure we get this W. Keep that momentum rolling. Stay alive in the race for home field advantage. So, until next time, your boy Nikki Stee signing off. Catch you later.